For every single patient a skilled nursing facility or SNF cares for, a really complex financial journey kicks off. It's this maze of paperwork, codes, and endless follow-ups, where just one tiny misstep can mean thousands in lost revenue. Today, we're going to walk through that entire journey, from the moment a claim is created all the way to cash in the bank. And we'll uncover all the hidden traps along the way. So this is the big question, right? These facilities are providing absolutely essential care, but somehow the money just doesn't always follow. This idea of revenue leakage is a huge problem, but it's not usually some big, obvious hole in the boat. So where exactly are all the leaks springing from? Well, the short answer is pretty much everywhere. It's almost never one single point of failure. Revenue gets lost all along this incredibly complicated journey a claim takes, often in 100 small ways. Every therapy session, every assessment, every single note has to be perfectly documented and then translated into a clean claim. Let's trace that path together. All right, let's start where it all begins, right there at the point of care. This first part of the journey is all about taking that dedicated clinical work and turning it into a perfectly formatted claim that's ready to be sent off. On the surface, it seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Just 4 clear steps. First, you document the care and capture all the charges. Then you create the official claim. Next, you scrub it to check for errors. And finally, you submit it to the payer. But trust me, each of these steps is hiding its own set of traps. So here's the crucial thing to understand. This whole process really starts at the bedside with the clinicians. If a therapy treatment sheet is missing, that's not just a missing piece of paper, it's the missing proof you need to justify a charge. If an entry in the minimum data set, the MDS, is wrong, well, the claim starts off with these critical gaps. These things that seem small on their own end up creating massive delays downstream. Okay, so in the next step, the billing team takes all of that raw clinical data and starts to assemble it. They have to compile every single charge, every code, and every authorization number into an official UB04 claim form. This is really where the clinical world smacks right into the financial one. And this right here is a major point of failure. A simple typo in a code, a forgotten authorization number, or just failing to follow a specific payer's unique formatting rules can get a claim instantly kicked back. These little clerical errors can totally compromise the entire claim right from the very start. Now, before a claim gets submitted, it's supposed to be scrubbed or checked for all these errors. But just think about it for a second. When your team has to manually review hundreds, maybe even thousands of these claims, it's just inevitable that errors are going to slip through. And everyone that does creates another clog in your reimbursement pipeline. Okay, so you've managed to submit a supposedly clean claim. You might think the hard part is over, but honestly, it's just getting started. Now we enter part 2, what I like to call the Great Payer Chase. This is where the most significant and the most costly delays really happen. The second that claim is sent, you enter this period of, waiting. It's a total black box. You have no idea if it was received, if it's being processed, or if it's already been tossed in the rejection pile. This waiting game is where time, money, and frankly, staff morale just go to die. I want you to really think about what this number means. 60 to 90 days. That's 2 to 3 full months of waiting for payment on care that you've already delivered. That's payroll you've already made, supplies you've already used. When claims sit unresolved for this long, it's not just some accounting issue. It's a direct, crippling blow to a facility's cash flow. It makes it harder to plan, harder to invest, and sometimes even harder to operate. So why the long wait? Because the follow-up is this incredibly frustrating manual process. Your staff spends their days bouncing between a dozen different payer websites that don't talk to each other, sitting on hold with insurance companies for hours, and then having to chase down clinicians for extra notes. This whole manual chase is exactly where potential revenue just turns into permanent revenue leakage. Sooner or later, after all that waiting and chasing, you finally get a response from the payer. But often, it's not a payment, it's a denial. And that doesn't end the journey. It just sends you down a different, even more complicated path, the denial maze. You know, what's really wild about this slide is just the sheer variety of reasons a claim can be denied. It could be for anything from missing paperwork to a patient's eligibility being off, to an expired authorization, or the payer could simply decide the care wasn't medically necessary. Each one of these requires a completely different fix. The single most critical step here is figuring out the real reason for the denial. Was the therapist's documentation truly incomplete? Or did the front desk miss an authorization update? If you don't find that root cause, you'll just fix the surface level issue, resubmit it, and get denied for the exact same reason all over again. You get stuck in a denial cycle. And appealing a denial isn't as simple as just resubmitting the claim. Oh no. It requires a formal appeal with detailed letters, clinical narratives explaining the care, and all the supporting documents. And here's the real kicker. Every single payer has different rules, different formats, and different deadlines. If you miss one tiny requirement, the denial clock resets all the way back to 0. So after walking through all these manual bottlenecks and complex mazes, you have to be wondering if there's a better way to do all this. And the good news is, there is. Let's take a look at how intelligent automation gives us a modern solution to these age-old problems. This slide just shows the transformation perfectly. I mean, look at the left side. That's the manual process we just talked through. Staff on hold, hunting for documents, missing errors. Now look at the right. With an automated workflow, the system retrieves claim status for you. It instantly classifies denials. It can even generate appeal packets with the right documents, and it scrubs claims against thousands of rules before they even go out the door. It's a night and day difference. And the financial impact of this is just profound. Reimbursements come in faster because the follow-up is consistent and totally predictable. You get way fewer denials because the errors are caught up front. The administrative burden on your staff is dramatically reduced, and all of this leads to really significant improvements in the facility's overall financial stability. And that really brings us to the most important takeaway here. Managing claims and denials. It isn't just some boring administrative back office task. For a skilled nursing facility, it is the financial lifeline that allows them to keep the doors open and continue providing that essential care to their residents. So, the final question is one I'll just leave you to think about. Looking at this entire complex journey, all the way from the bedside to the bank, you really have to ask yourself, is your facility's lifeline strong enough to weather the storm?